What was your family's source of income? Daddy worked, I, and I'm trying to remember, did he work for the Pikes? I know the Pikes and the Gonzaleses. Well, he worked for the Pikes at a paint and body shop. And I'm not sure if he worked for the Gonzaleses or not, but they were real close to Daddy and Mama and our family also. But I know he worked at Pikes Paint and Body Shop. And then after Mr. Pike got, we say, funny with Daddy, Daddy left that shop and went and started his own. He could take a car that has been totaled, frame and all. Then Daddy could put that car back together just like it was when it was new. He was just that good at what he did. And hey, even though I didn't work in the shop, I could, going in and out, I could see how he did things and everything. And I tell you what, I know how to sand a car. I know kind of how to take dents out, how to put the putty on there, and all of that. Fill in if you have to fill in the dents, and you have to put little holes in there. They might do things differently now. Maybe things are more technical now. But I know Daddy would drill little holes in the dents, and then he'd pull those dents out, and then he'd take that putty and that mud or whatever it is, and he put it over there, and then he'd sand it. See, I'm going into the paint, going all the way into this place. But I learned some things by just walking in and out because the girls didn't work in the shop. Now the boys worked in the shop. They learned the trade, even though they could do it, but none of them took it up as a business for themselves. And so I learned how to sand a car, how to prime a car, and how to paint the car. I learned how to do that. As a matter of fact, my Thunderbird, my 1970 Thunderbird, I repainted, well, the top, it had been sitting out in the weather so, and I hadn't driven it so long. And so the top, it had a rag top. I'm really talking about it. I'm telling you, this is what Daddy did. He was a paint and body man, and so it just we learned this stuff, and it had a rag top, and I pulled that top off, and I sanded it down. When I don't know what that should say, ground or grinded it. But I took the grinder and I smoothed that top out, got that rust out of that top and everything. And I filled in the holes and everything with the putty and all that. Then I sanded it down, and then, hey, I painted it. Hey, I did it. And guess what? Even though I had um, an air compressor here, Ella Davis had bought an air compressor. This was after Ella Davis had transitioned. And painted I painted the whole car. I went and bought me some spray paint, can paint, and I painted that top. Looked like I did it with the uh, air compressor, the paint can, all that. And then I did the bottom of the car too. And that was just from going in and out of that shop, watching my daddy and my brothers and my mama. And of course, you had to know how to tape the car down, had to tape it around the chrome, and tape, cover the windows and all of that, anything that was exposed so it wouldn't get painted and all of that. I learned to do all of that. That's what my daddy did. He was a professional paint and body man, and he was a great mechanic also. So if we needed our motors done, my brothers could do it. They can overhaul cars and everything. And hey, he taught me how to change the tire, I knew how to put oil in the car, and different things, the necessary things Daddy taught me to do. All right. Were your parents strict? And if they were, who was the strictest of the two? Who was the strictest of your parents? tell me a little bit about that. That is interesting. Were my parents strict? I say they were strict. And who was the strictest? We would say, I would say Daddy was the strictest. But let me tell you, if we'd ask Mama if we could do something, go somewhere, then what would Mama say? Ask your daddy. And then we would ask Daddy if we could go. What your mama say? Daddy, she told us to ask you. Well, okay. And like I'm gonna give a reference to the community center where we lived Elm Street. The community center was right across the alley. So all we had to do is go out the back door, go to the alley, turn right, and the community center is right there. And we didn't go in the back door of the center, so we had to turn right and go around to the front door of the center, because that's the way everybody went in. And so Daddy would say, "You home at 10 o'clock?" "Yes, sir, Daddy. We're so happy to come." And before 10 o'clock, a few minutes before 10 o'clock, we had better be out of that center and on the way down that alley, which was not even a half a block. Daddy would be standing out in the alley. And if we were late, he would say, "You're not going anywhere for 2 weeks." And let me tell you something. If he said you're not going anywhere for 2 weeks, you're not going anywhere besides school, with the school time or whatever. No extracurricular activity for 2 weeks. He was that. He was like that. He was like that. And I appreciate that because it grounded us and gave us discipline. And if he said no, then no. But Mama, go ask your daddy. What did your mama say? Daddy, she said if I ask you. And that's the way it went. And so Daddy would have the final say on whether we could go or not. But you know what? They read each other. And they knew if Mama didn't really want us to go, Daddy would already sense it and whatever. So they would deal with it in whatever that way that it is, because they were very protective.